Question 1. What is a core Australian value regarding different cultures and beliefs? A. Promoting one's own culture exclusively. B. Respect for the freedom and dignity of the individual. C. Mutual respect, tolerance and compassion. D. Expecting others to adopt Australian customs. Answers is C. Mutual respect, tolerance and compassion. Mutual respect, tolerance and compassion are fundamental Australian values that encourage understanding and acceptance of people from diverse backgrounds and beliefs. Question 2. Which statement reflects the Australian value of freedom of speech? A. People can say anything without consequences. B. People are free to express their views provided they do not harm others or incite violence. C. Only certain opinions are allowed to be publicly expressed. D. Freedom of speech is not a protected value in Australia. Answers is B. People are free to express their views, provided they do not harm others or incite violence. Freedom of speech is a cherished Australian value, allowing individuals to express their opinions, provided it does not cause harm, incite violence, or break the law. Question 3. In Australia, what does equality before the law mean? A. Only citizens are subject to Australian laws. B. Everyone, including those in authority, is subject to the same laws. C. Laws apply differently based on wealth or social status. D. The law protects certain groups more than others. Answers is B. Everyone, including those in authority, is subject to the same laws. Equality before the law is a fundamental Australian value, meaning that everyone, regardless of their position, background, or wealth, is subject to and protected by the same laws. Question 4. What is a key principle of the rule of law in Australia? A. Government officials are exempt from certain laws. B. Laws are decided by public opinion polls. C. All people are bound by the law and disputes are settled in courts. D. The Parliament can change laws without public consultation. Answers is C. All people are bound by the law and disputes are settled in courts. The rule of law means that everyone, including those in power, is accountable under the law, and legal disputes are resolved through an independent court system. Question 5. Australia has a system of government known as a parliamentary democracy and a communist republic. B. Theocratic state. C. Constitutional monarchy. D. Direct democracy. Answers is C. Constitutional monarchy. Australia is a parliamentary democracy and a constitutional monarchy, meaning the head of state is the King or Queen of Australia, represented by the. Question 6. What are the two houses of the Australian Parliament? A. The House of Lords and the House of Commons. B. The Legislative Assembly and the Legislative Council. C. The Senate and the House of. D. The Parliament of the People and the National Assembly. Answers is C. The Senate and the House of. The Australian Parliament consists of two houses, the Senate, the State's House, and the House of the People's House, both elected by the Australian people. Question 7. What is a responsibility of all Australian citizens aged 18 and over? A. To join a political party. B. To serve on a jury if called upon. C. To actively campaign in all elections. D. To pay all taxes to their local council directly. Answers is B. To serve on a jury if called upon. Serving on a jury if called upon is a civic duty, and A. Responsibility for eligible Australian citizens aged 18 and over, ensuring fairness in the justice system. Question 8. Which of the following is A. right for Australian citizens aged 18 and over? A. To drive without a licence. B. To vote in federal and local government elections. C. To claim any government benefit without eligibility. D. To be exempt from all laws. Answers is B. To vote in federal and local government elections. Australian citizens aged 18 and over have the right and responsibility to vote in all levels of government elections, allowing them to choose their representatives. Question 9. What is the term for the spiritual beliefs and cultural practices of Aboriginal and Strait Islander peoples relating to creation and land? A. The Great Story. B. The Dreaming or Dreamtime. C. The Elders' Code. D. The Ancestral Path. Answers is B. The Dreaming or Dreamtime. The dreaming or dreamtime is a fundamental concept for many Aboriginal and Strait Islander peoples, encompassing their creation stories, laws, and the spiritual connection to the land and ancestors. Question 10. Which statement best describes the significance of elders in Aboriginal and Strait Islander cultures? A. Elders are primarily chosen for their physical strength. B. Elders are respected leaders who hold traditional knowledge, maintain law and customs. C. Elders are responsible for all economic decisions in the community. D. Elders are appointed by the Australian government. Answers is B. Elders are respected leaders who hold traditional knowledge, maintain law and customs. Elders play a vital role in Aboriginal and Strait Islander, holding deep knowledge of traditional law, culture and customs, and providing guidance and leadership. Question 11. When did the first fleet arrive in Australia, leading to European settlement? A. 1901, B. 1851, C. 1788, D. 1801. Answers is C. 1788. The first fleet, led by Captain Arthur Phillip, in Botany Bay in January 1788, subsequently establishing the first European settlement at Sydney Cove. Question 12. In what year did the Australian federate to form the Commonwealth of Australia? A. 1888, B. 1901, C. 1914, D. 1788. Answers is B. 1901. On January 1, 1901, the six Australian united to form the Commonwealth of Australia, marking a significant milestone in the nation's history. Question 13. What major historical event in the century significantly increased Australia's population and cultural diversity? A. World War I. B. The Great Depression. C. The Gold Rushes. D. The establishment of the railway system. Answers is C. The Gold Rushes. The gold rushes of the brought a massive influx of migrants from around the world, profoundly changing Australia's demographics, economy, and social fabric. Question 14. What do the stars on the Australian national flag represent? A. The Southern Cross constellation and the Commonwealth Star. B. The capital and major rivers. C. The original six of Australia. D. Historical battles and victories. Answers is A. The Southern Cross constellation and the Commonwealth Star. The Australian national flag features the Union Jack, the Commonwealth Star representing the Federation of the 6 states, and the Southern Cross constellation visible in the Southern Hemisphere. Question 15. Which 2 native animals support the shield on the Australian coat of arms? A kangaroo and a koala, B, an emu and a platypus, C, a kangaroo and an emu, D, a dingo and a crocodile. Answers is C, a kangaroo and an emu. The Australian coat of arms features a shield held by a kangaroo and an emu, 2 prominent native Australian animals chosen for their inability to walk backward, symbolising forward progress. Question 16. Why is Anzac Day 25 April important to Australians? A. It celebrates the day Australia became a federation. B. It commemorates Australians and New Zealanders who served and died in all wars and conflicts. C. It marks the arrival of the First Fleet. D. It is a day to celebrate national sporting achievements. Answers is B. It commemorates Australians and New Zealanders who served and died in all wars and conflicts. Anzac Day commemorates the bravery and sacrifice of Australian and New Zealand soldiers who served and died in all wars, conflicts, and peacekeeping operations, particularly remembering the landing at Gallipoli in 1915. Question 17. What does Australia Day 26 January commemorate? A. The anniversary of the first Olympic Games in Australia. B. The anniversary of the First Fleet's arrival in Sydney Cove in 1788. C. The signing of the Australian Constitution. D. The day Australia won its independence from Britain. Answers is B. The anniversary of the First Fleet's arrival in Sydney Cove in 1788. Australia Day commemorates the arrival of the First Fleet at Sydney Cove on January 26, 1788, and the raising of the British flag, marking the beginning of European settlement. Question 18. Which of these is a state capital city in Australia? A. Canberra, B. Gold Coast, C. Perth, D. Alice Springs. Answers is C. Perth. Perth is the capital city of Western Australia. Canberra is the national capital. Gold Coast is a major city in Queensland, and Alice Springs is a town in the Northern Territory. Question 19. Which body of water lies to the east of Australia? A. The Indian Ocean, B. The Southern Ocean, C. The Pacific Ocean, D. The Timor Sea. Answers is C. The Pacific Ocean. The Pacific Ocean is to the east of Australia, separating it from New Zealand and the Americas. The Indian Ocean is to the west, and the Southern Ocean to the south. Question 20. Who represents the King or Queen of Australia as the head of state? A. The Prime Minister, B. The Chief Justice, C. The Speaker of the House. Answers is C. There is the King's or Queen's representative in Australia, acting as the head of state and fulfilling various constitutional and ceremonial. Question 21. What is the purpose of jury service in Australia? A. To advise the judge on legal matters. B. To provide legal counsel to defendants. C. To decide whether a person is guilty or not guilty based on evidence. D. To enforce laws and maintain public order. Answers is C. To decide whether a person is guilty or not guilty based on evidence. Jury service is a vital component of Australia's legal system. where ordinary citizens impartially hear evidence and decide on the facts of a case, determining guilt or innocence. Question 22. What is a defining characteristic of Australia's modern society? A single dominant cultural heritage. B. A highly restrictive immigration policy. C. A diverse and multicultural population. D. A society primarily focused on agricultural. Answers is C. A diverse and multicultural population. Australia is widely recognised for its diverse and multicultural population, embracing people from almost every nation in the world who have chosen to call Australia home. Question 23. Which of the following is a significant cultural aspect of Strait Islander peoples? A. Their traditional art often features desert landscapes and dot paintings. B. They have a unique maritime culture with strong connections to the sea and islands. C. Their primary traditional language is always the same as mainland Aboriginal groups. D. Their traditional only involve agricultural practices. Answers is B. They have a unique maritime culture with strong connections to the sea and islands. Strait Islander peoples have a distinct cultural heritage, deeply connected to their island homes and the sea by unique languages and arts, different from mainland Aboriginal cultures. Question 24. What is the fundamental law of Australia establishing the framework for government? A. The Bill of Rights. B. The Magna. C. The Australian Constitution. D. The Declaration of Independence. Answers is C. The Australian Constitution. The Australian Constitution is the supreme law of Australia, defining the powers of the Commonwealth Parliament and the federal structure of government. It came into effect on 1 January 1901.